Assalamu alaikum. Good morning to you, class.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, doctor.
Okay, so let's start. Okay, let's start the class. And today topic we have to cover about theoretical framework. The first part, last week we completed the literature review. Okay. So this week we are going to work on theoretical framework, and then we are going to cover the rest of the research methodology topic. So now first question is about, we are going to cover what is framework. Okay, first you have to understand this process that accordingly we have to understand the things. Like this is a research process. The number one topic is about observation, broad area of research interest identified that you have done, that what is the research area you want to work, and that you have done with Dr. Prof. Zanaria, that how to go with your research interest, research area. Then you have your data gathering, the initial literature search to find your problem or to support your problem. Or if you do not have a literature, then you can go for some interviews or something. Based on this, you come with your problem statement. Okay. This is so far is done by Prof. Zanaria that you have done. And all these things are supported by literature review is already done by me. Now, once you have your problem, the second step is theoretical or conceptual framework of your study. And once you have a framework of your study, then you come with the generation of hypotheses. Then you have a research design. This is important. That what is your research design? And then we have a data collection and analysis, interpretation. Finally, making the report. So we are going to cover this three part today. So let's start first with framework. What is, according to you, the theoretical framework? Any idea?
It is the guideline and directions of our research to be completed, doctor.
No. Theoretical framework is not deadline. Any other one?
Doctor, it might be a structured approach for us to use to analyze, evaluate, and interpret the information or situation.
No.
Doctor, I think this theoretical framework is something that we want to test or we want to prove in our thesis.
Yes. We want to test this framework. But what is this framework? What does it mean?
This framework, it should be the core of the thesis, this, which means it's something that we need to find out that it never happened before. Something to prove that academically, by using statistics, that these frameworks can is applicable in our thesis title, based on our thesis title.
Somewhat you are right, but not completely. Actually, the definition is still not there. What is theoretical framework?
Doctor, can I see the framework is the how are we going to structure our independent variables and the dependent variables?
Yes. Theoretical framework is about the relationship among the variables of your study. Theoretical framework is actually the relationships, how you are establishing the relationship among the variables. If we see, a theoretical framework represents your beliefs. Beliefs. This is very important word. This is how you believe on how certain phenomena we call it simply words, variable or concepts, are related to each other. Let me call it a model. This is the first part. So first, to understand the theoretical framework, the first thing we have to understand is about variables. Variables. What are variables according to you? What is variable? Very common thing in research, we use it, the word, what is the variable of a study? Variable. What is variable?
Variables are like the possible items yang the one that
What?
possibility items that can show possibility in relationship between the IV and DV.
Any other explanation?
It should be what I think it should be something it will change based on the different
Right.
scope.
Variable is something which changes, which takes varying values. Which takes the varying value. Power voltage. It's a variable.
Yes, doctor.
What is the power
Yes,
voltage
doctor.
electricity of electricity in your home?
I'm not so sure. Just
240.
220.
220. Okay.
220 watt. Any other home which has in Malaysia power watt is more or less than 220?
Yes, okay.
Is it possible?
Less than to 220 is possible because this is fluctuations. Sometimes 210, sometimes 220.
Fluctuation, but constant power voltage is 220. Okay. But fluctuated power voltage is possible. Fluctuated power voltage. Somewhere is coming 220, somewhere is coming 225. Okay. Somewhere it is coming 210. Somewhere it is coming 210, 212. So this is fluctuation. If fluctuated power voltage which takes a varying value, so we can call it this is variable. Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Variable is something which takes varying value. So now, very easy variable. Age.
Gender.
Okay. For example, maybe I ask you what your age. You first one say 32, number two one say 21, 20, 26, 28, because you are master PhD, so not 21 possible. 28, third says 34, then it says 29, then 39. Okay. So is it taking the varying value? Yes. So it's variable. Okay. Age, gender, some variables are easy to measure, like age, gender, weight, height. These are very easy to measure. But some variables are difficult to measure. Okay. For example, the difficult to measure is achievement. Achievement is a variable.
Yes.
Satisfaction,
Yes.
performance.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So these variables are difficult to measure. So normally we measure this variable in different ways, like we convert into the scale 1 to 5. Okay. Sometimes 1 to 10. Or maybe we can put it 1 to 100, like, okay. So these are the scale variables. All variables are technically scaled, but these are considered as a scaled variable. The variable is something which takes the varying values. Can you give me any two example of any variable name? Okay, I make it easy. Give me the title of your proposed thesis you are going to do in your master PhD. If you are even coursework, no problem, you will do your thesis. in your final project. Not necessarily the same you will do, but anything you can think of that one. You can share with me your thesis names you want to do. Suppose I put it the option question answers in you. Okay. Okay, now question answer. You have to type the title of your thesis. Everyone, so that we can find the variable of your study. Everyone should write title of thesis or dissertation. Not necessarily that you are 100% going to do this one, but you can think of any topic. Everyone should answer this one so that we can discuss. I can discuss the variable of your study. Okay, so far 4 titles. More. Okay. Evaluation of AI adoption readiness in private hospital. The moderating role of cost. What is the variable in this topic? Can we find? Lee, what are variable?
Variables over here is will be classified as independent variables,
No,
which
no,
is
no, no.
the
In this.
which is the AI adoption readiness.
AI adoption readiness. One variable. You have 2 variables. Second variable,
Of
cost. Cost is also the variable.
yes.
Okay, designing a virtual university framework for VR game mechanic and technical lab training. Yes.
The variable is the game mechanic, doctor.
Actually, this is not one variable. This is completely framework. You are all itself designing, but within the framework, there will be many variables. Okay. In this situation, expectation reality gaps in recruitment. Graduate unemployment. Yes, variable.
The behavior.
Okay, but another variable is also unemployment rate. Graduate
Yeah.
unemployment rate is a main variable, we can say. But reality gaps, so that we want to find the behavioral perspective, also can be. Manufacturing quality control through autoencoder for anomaly detection in semiconductor manufacturing, wire processing. Yes. What is variable?
The quality of wire bonding process.
Manufacturing quality
And-
control. Okay.
And also, yes.
That's main variable. And blended learning and learning outcome.
The variable is blended learning itself.
Blended learning, learning outcome, and simulation model. There are
Yeah.
three variables in this study. Okay. Machine monitoring BI solutions with predictive analytics for data-driven decision making.
The variable is predictive analytics.
Predictive analytics data and
Yeah.
maybe data-driven opportunity decisions.
Yes.
Maybe, not sure. Okay. So these are the variable. The variable is something which tags the varying value. I also collected only five answers. Okay. Other students did not participate. Make sure that if you do not participate, definitely these all things are noted and will affect your final results. When assignment come, accordingly, I will be measuring. I will say that you people were not performing. It means that your assignment is double check. Better to participate in class. Okay. So let's continue. More with that. All of you have answered. Okay, so variable is something which takes the varying value. Okay, so what is framework? Framework is actually relationship among variables. And the word is that, now you see definition, a theoretical represents your belief on how certain phenomena like machine learning, predictive analytics, quality control are related to each other, a model. But the word is beliefs. Now you tell me one thing. Productive workers are happy workers, or happy workers are productive workers?
Number 2, doctor.
Number 2, happy workers are productive workers.
Okay. How many of you agree with number 2? Please raise hand like this. Okay. You people are saying that productive workers are happy workers are productive workers. Rest of you are saying productive workers are happy workers. Okay. Salim Al-Amri. Tell me, why are you saying that productive workers are happy workers? Why do you agree with number 1? Answer. Yes, Salim. Salim, you are here.
Doctor, sorry, can you repeat the question again?
My question is that productive workers are happy worker or happy workers are productive workers? This is 1 and this is 2. Option 1, option 2.
Number 2.
Happy
Okay, those who
workers
say
are
number 2,
productive
you already
workers.
raised the hand. Those who say number 2, but Salim, why do you say number 1? Because you do not raise the hand. Okay. Anand Najwa. That's why actually I'm checking. Those who are not available, technically they are absent. Only being logging is not enough in the class. You have to participate. Then I have to check that you are already here or you are just sitting in, just logging the class. Azmi Ahmed. Azmi Ahmed, you are here? Sadaf Jamal.
Yes, sir, present.
Why do you say a productive worker or happy worker?
Sir, I said number 2. Happy workers are productive workers.
Then raise the hand, na? Like this here.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Tanwanzi.
Hi, doctor, I'm here.
Okay, why do you say?
I not think the happy worker must be productive because the productive worker might be very hardworking and also smart workers, but not necessarily very happy.
Okay. And Uka Chuku Imeka.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes.
Hello?
Why productive workers are happy workers?
Well, I would say that the both of them, I consider both of them right, because productive workers are happy workers. When people feel like they are being accomplishing something, contributing meaningful. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, I said I will say that productive workers are happy workers because when people feel that they are accomplishing something, contributing meaningful and being recognized, that will boost their happiness too. So we'll go for,
Okay. But
yeah,
there is
productive
also the
workers are happy workers.
contradicting. You are saying that productive workers are happy workers because those who can produce, they remain happy. Okay.
Sorry?
Those who can produce the work, they are always happy with the work. Self-satisfaction.
Yeah.
Do you agree, those who raise the hand, with this statement?
Yeah, that's what I said at first. I said
No.
that
You
both of them, I consider both of them right.
Wait. Others. Those who raise the hand, they answered this second. Now they say happy workers are productive worker. So what is their argument? Why do you say happy workers are productive worker, not productive workers are happy workers?
Okay, saying that happy workers are productive workers, I think that when someone feel valued or enjoy the work environment.
Ameka, you have answered. You have established your point. Now I want to listen the counter argument about the number 2.
Oh, the counter argument for number 2.
Yeah. Anyone like Lee Ang Ho? Yes, Lee.
Okay, doctor. My argument is happiness is one of the variables which is related to productivities. So it's part of variables that is contribute to productivity.
Vacuum je tadi masuk.
Now listen, there are two types of arguments. Okay. Now we'll look at this frame definition. A theoretical framework represents your
Belief.
this is half
Beliefs.
class believes that happy workers are productive workers. Other people are believing that productive workers are happy workers. It means that there are two types of beliefs among them, right?
Yeah.
And accordingly you develop the how certain framework is developed. Okay, accordingly you relate the variables. Now your variable relationship is like this: impact of happy workers. If productivity is high, suppose if productivity is high, happiness is high, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
other says no, if they are happy,
The productive
they are
is
productive,
high.
right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is you
Yes,
are
increasing the
developing your
productiveness.
yeah, this is the way you are developing. Both of them are what? Technically, both of them are what? Productivity and happiness is called what? We have one variable. This is what is we have? I told myself both of them are actually
Productivity.
variables.
Variable.
Okay. So variable and relationship. Now we understand the definition of framework. A theoretical framework represents your belief on how certain variables are related to each other. You understand the first part of this definition? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. So that means
Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Now my question, why should I believe you?
I need to test it. I need to prove it, with the statistics.
That
by
is
under
later on. You have to prove it with the statistics later on. But you are developing an argument, your hypothesis. This is actually technically you are developing your hypothesis. So if you are developing your hypothesis, then you have to justify that why should I believe you?
existing proven network which is related or proven with the previous thesis go by the literature review or those.
Yes, that is related to previous class. Why should I believe you? Because you are a scholar. What you say is not on your belief, but based on support evidence.
research.
Now see, and an explanation why you believe that variable are associated with each other. And we call it, the word is called theory. You should have a theory, and theory is actually technically is literature. So you should have a supporting theory, or you should have a, that's why in our chapter 2, we always use the literature review like variable concepts, and one heading is theoretical support or theoretical underpinning. Why do you have theoretical support? Because you have to develop your theoretical framework. Okay. Now, what is different between conceptual framework and theoretical framework? There is difference, but at your level, as you are just started your research, so my suggestion is to you, both are same for you. Right now, both are same. Okay. But there is a difference, which I'm not going to present now, so that we do not make the things difficult. But whether it is conceptual framework or theoretical framework, things will remain same. A conceptual framework or theoretical framework, both will have the same thing, is that your beliefs and why you believe a theory, or we can say literature. Okay. You understand my point? So this is the definition you
Yes,
clear to
doctor.
you. If you say this one is okay, support with literature review. If you say this is okay, support with literature review. This is clear?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, now second step, how to develop the theoretical framework. First, we identify the variables of your study. So now matter is that how we identify the variables of our study, happy worker, what is the definition of actually You are scientist. You are scientist. You are scholars. Who are you?
Scholars.
And scholar always speak based on evidence. What is the definition of happiness? Okay.
This happiness, we will look for those previous literatures which is published before related to happiness. Then we will study from there. Then we find out that our definitions of happiness.
My definition is I am happy when I have money in wallet. It means that when you have money in your wallet, you are happy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All of you.
Yes, doctor.
All of you happy. It means
Yes,
that
Yes,
doctor.
doctor.
according to your definition, rich people are always happy.
Mm,
No, doctor. No,
And
no,
poor
no,
people,
no.
not really.
but you said, nah, poor people are always sad.
Say.
No.
According to you, according to your happiness definition, rich people are always happy. Poor people are always sad. Agree or not agree?
Not agree.
Not agree.
Disagree,
Then your
doctor.
definition
No,
is, then this definition is not correct.
Yes.
So what is a proper definition of happiness? How will you find the definition of happiness?
Conditions of feeling in certain situation, happiness.
To be honest, we are what we will answer. If we will try to guess or maybe explain our perspective. But if you want to know the proper definition, so you have to do the literature review, and then you should understand that what is theoretical explanation of
About the
variable.
happiness.
Now you understand your chapter 2, why we make chapter 2. To understand the
Yes,
variable.
doctor.
Theoretical explanation of your variable. Your variable is happiness,
Happiness.
and productivity. What does it mean by productivity? Okay. So these two definitions you have to find from literature review. That's we did the previous class. I was telling you that you have to develop the literature review chapter. Why you have a literature review chapter? Explanation, and then relationship among these variables, happiness and productivity. Okay. Then you come to a conclusion that this one is correct or this one is correct. Okay. You got my point?
Yeah.
Okay. For example, another example, when you are satisfied with work, your performance is high. It means quality work. But when you are performing well, you are satisfied.
Satisfied.
Which one is correct? Both can be correct. Depends.
I go
What
for
is
number
your
two,
what is your stance? It means that beliefs,
Yes.
and belief is supported by
Literature review.
Literature review.
Literature
now
review.
we don't call it word literature review. We will call it supported by
Theory.
Theoretic.
because now you
Theoretical
are little
framework.
advanced. One step more. Theory. Okay. You should have a theory. That is the clarity we have to do. So, and then what you understood that my definition of happiness is I am happy when I have money, and when according to this definition, I come to conclusion this is called rich people are always happy. That type of thing is called philosophy of that is considered as a philosophical stance. That is considered as a philosophical stance. Philosophical stance, and in philosophical we have that word like deductive approach. Deduction and induction. Have you heard this word in your life? Deduction and induction. Deduction and induction.
Induction.
Maybe Dr. Zanaria has covered with the basic research concept, deductive and inductive. So in philosophy stance, you can understand that what is deductive and inductive. This was deductive approach. I say, I am happy when I have money. So according to this one, rich people are always happy. This is, you know, based on premise. You conclude your argument. You should have some premise. My argument, my premise was, I am happy when I have money. So based on my premise, my argument is this. This argument can be correct, but it was correct argument, but not valid. But it was not a valid argument. Okay. So that you have to understand as a philosophy of research. But I'm not touching this one. Okay. This is going to be a difficult one. For that, you have to do some advanced research method course. Okay. So I'm just teaching you the basic research right now. Okay. So identify the variable. How will you identify the variable? That which are the variables of your study? How will you identify the variable of happiness? Through literature. Okay. Now you identify. Identification means the what does it mean by happiness according to your study. And one more important thing. When you say a theoretical explanation of a variable, you explain happiness and productivity. But at the same time, you have this word in your chapter 1. Conceptual definitions of your variable. Remember, have you seen this word? Conceptual definition of your variable. Yes or no?
Yes,
have you
yes,
seen this
okay.
word?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Like for example, we have dissertations. Last time we also continued this one, no? Only dissertations. Always try to read dissertation and article both, because in UTM library, if you know the access, so you can find. Let's see, it has definition or not. Let's see. Let me check this thesis. It has conceptual definition. Let me check the. Oh, that is. Yes. This is better. Okay. Now see. This is one thesis. Dissertation. Normally see. Your problem, background of the problem, statement of the problem statement, significance of the study. This is you have to write in your chapter 1. Okay. And limitation of your study, organization of the study, and C. You understand? This is called definition. What is the definition of blended learning classroom? So that is considered as a clarification of terms. Like According to me, happiness was when I have money. So this is not clarification, but research has explored the avenues to identify the impact of blended learning upon learning. A blended learning is one of the frequent concepts which have been included in the studies instrument. Is supported by this thing, and the definition research incorporated. The research blended learning incorporated not only learning environment but also collaborative use of different teaching method to increase learning output. This is the definition of blended learning given by this person, specifically given by this person. Okay. Oh, this is big thesis, 325 words or pages. It's a PhD thesis, I think. That was master's. See, definition of terms. Everybody has written. This is good for you, for PhD student especially. Now you see this one. Because in normally research article, you do not give the definitions, but you write it in the literature review. But that's why I'm focusing also on thesis to you. Like your thesis should start with introduction to the study, background, problem statement, purpose, research question, okay, significance of the study, advancing scientific knowledge, rationale for methodology that you put it not necessary in the chapter 1, but some use it. Nature of research design not necessary, but definition of terms. See, this is called conceptual definition. See, as instructional pressure, we use a combination of face-to-face and online learning. Blending learning is a combination of online and face-to-face interaction using technology and traditional teaching strategies. Allow professional education conducted by this one. This is the definitions. And if you go next, then you will find in your chapter 2, literature review, that is discuss how your chapter review is performed, and then it will give you introduction, what is what we are talking about this one, then review of literature, then go heading by how blended learning start, evaluation of literature review. What type of literature review it is? It is topical, or it is like chronological.
Chronological.
Mix of both. Okay. See, blended learning start, it goes like a history. Then why blended learning is important? Because it's technical, it's a topical. Okay. Then it goes step by step. See, and everything is supported by literature. Blended learning disadvantages. Okay. Feature solution of implementing blended learning. This is all you do in your literature review chapter. Then it comes with some framework of blended learning, the rational model, support theory. These are the models, okay? Integration of blended learning in the 21st century. Technology integration hurdles. It is using all literature, okay? Now see, variables, teacher self-efficacy. It is explained theoretically. So there are two types of variables. Variables are same, but there are two types of literature. One is theoretical literature, and one is particularly discussing about the definition of the variable. For example, the variable happiness and productivity, but you also have to tell the relationship between the happiness and productivity also. This is you put in the chapter 2. Now idea is clear? Okay, but in this chapter, one thing is we are missing, that is called, we use the literature review to develop the hypothesis also. But I will discuss with somewhere in the thesis, which we can find it, with the variables hypothesis development. Okay, in this studies, both of them are not using normally hypothesis development. Okay. State the relationship among the variable to develop the hypothesis, because the next step, once we know the relationship. Okay, now relationship means, you tell me, if this is a positive relation or negative relation?
Positive.
Positive. Okay. And second one, this one is positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
Okay.
Positive.
Now, for example, I change it. Your performance is high. This is positive or negative?
Positive.
Now, if I change it, this is negative, positive.
Negative.
Negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, doctor.
Explain how and why you expect this relationship theory. Okay, let's start. Variable, a concept or construct that varies or changes in values. Anything which do not change, it's not variable. Always remember. And anything which do not change and remain it's not variable, then what is it? If any construct which does not check the variance value, then what do we call it?
Is it a significant, doctor?
No.
Significant relationship?
Any concept which does not vary, so it's not variable. So what is it? What is the name of that thing which does not change?
Independent variable.
That is called constant. If you remember your school life, so there were two things in your school. We studied constant and variable. Remember? In mathematics. Constant means it does not change. So any construct which does not vary, it's always constant. But variable must be changing values. If it does not change, or another name of that variable, we call it slope. If you remember, what we call it, slope. So variable has slope. Because it should not be constant, but it should vary up and down. Okay. Now there are four types of variable: dependent variable, independent variable, moderating variable, and mediating variable. So what is dependent variable according to you? Yes, class. What is dependent variable? Dependent
Doc-
variable. Okay.
all right. I believe that it is the outcome or result that we are measuring with.
Technically, we do not measure dependent variable. We measure the dependent variable is actually measured by independent variable. But it is we call it dependent variable is a variable of interest. Our primary goal is to understand that dependent variable. Tell me in this title, what is a dependent variable? Yes, class. What is a dependent variable in this title?
Student self-regulated learning.
Okay, there are three variables, I tell you. The relationship between secondary ELA teachers' pedagogical practices. Number one variable is secondary teacher actually is, but we can say variable is actually pedagogical practices. Okay, pedagogy. First variable is pedagogy. Number two is learning. And number three is digital self-efficacy. There are three variables in this study. Pedagogy, teaching pedagogy, okay? Learning, student learning, actually, it is student learning. And student digital
Efficacy.
efficacy. Now you tell me, which one is dependent variable in this study? What is the variable of interest? Our primary goal is to understand this variable. Which variable we want to understand in this study? Or in other words, which
Pedagogy.
thing you want to improve actually?
The teacher pedagogical.
Pedagogical practices.
Okay, tell me, raise the hand who said pedagogy is a variable. Let's see. Low down your hands. All of you. Now again raise. Victor, low down. Okay. Those who say pedagogy is a variable. 3. Okay. Those who say learning, student learning is a variable. Student learning. Okay. Those who say digital self-efficacy is a variable. Digital self-efficacy. Raida Binti, you are saying digital self-efficacy. All of you are now saying digital. All of it. Santin Raj, first you were saying you are raising hand and every time. I'm noticing this thing.
Doctor, I mentioned first in the pedagogical teaching then.
Okay, the right answer is digital self-efficacy is a variable. Dependent variable is a dependent variable. There are now technically it is a very common mistake by my last many years of teaching, around 13-14 years I'm teaching research method. The common mistake I have seen in students that they do not understand that this is actually our variable. Student interest is, student interest is more about blended learning on this thing. They forget that why are you studying the secondary teacher pedagogy practices and student self-regulatory learning? Why? To improve the students'
Efficacy.
Digital
self-efficacy. This is our interest actually. If I see other thesis, or maybe not necessary thesis, I see two papers also. Okay, now second title. Effects of blended learning on undergraduate nursing knowledge skills, critical thinking ability, and mental health. What are the variable of interest? What are the dependent variable? Okay, we don't have the access right now. This is also the paper. Okay, we can say only access one. Those I have access. Okay, this article we can see effects of blended learning approach on a student's outcome. Now, what is a dependent variable?
Student outcomes.
Students' outcome.
Outcome. And you know, this paper is interesting. You know how many are the dependent variable? 3. Blended learning effect on knowledge scales, critical thinking, and mental health. Three are dependent variable in this study. Because it's a systematic review and meta-analysis, so they can do. But normally for the small papers, people don't do like this. People do like this, easy one, like this one. And how it does it? See, background they developed. Now, course description method. They have done very easy one. Not happy. We can take it from some Scopus. Good article. Blended learning. Okay, only articles. I want articles only. Limit to. And I have access. Open access. All open access. Okay. We can do this one. Let's see this one. View PDF. View PDF. View PDF. Okay, let's see. It's good or not. Let me check the article. Because I always check randomly. I do not prepare it before that. See, theoretical framework and literature review. Same thing you are finding in your article also. This introduction is technically called problem statement. In research article, we convert the thesis like this. The theoretical framework, adoption of higher education institution by COVID-19, global span and accelerated steps towards University 4.0. This is support of literature, professional, individual. Wow, spelling is mistake. Characteristics and online learning. So now online learning definitions, theoretical explanation of online learning, faculty readiness for online teaching and skills. These are the skills they have discussed. See, demographic factors, they find it. This is called a literature review. We call it matrix. We develop through the matrix, or you can use illicit.com or something like this. We should develop this summary. Dimension of scale that we will discuss later on, that how to develop the scale. Then research question, this is a question, then hypothesis. Hypothesis is developed through the framework, okay? So these are the research question. Then we come to this one, then we sample method we will discuss. We are discussing today all. Then we are the results. And we come to hypothesis development and then we check it. Let's see. This article, we have to assessment of students' ability, dependent, independent variable, problem statement, contribution of previous work, data collection, data processing, EFA. That is a little difficult for you. These are the variables. See, these are the variables, measurement of variable, and these are the definitions. Okay. And these, then you develop the scale analysis. Then see the analysis. Okay. So we are coming with this one, with this thing, but we go one by one. So dependent variable is a variable of interest. Okay. Now you tell me 3 articles which is a dependent variable. By title, exploring the effects of elaborated and motivational feedback on learning engagement. What is dependent variable?
Learning engagement.
Learning engagement, right? And what is independent variable? Independent variable is nothing but independent variable are those variable which can increase or decrease the effects on dependent variable. Okay, so what are the independent variable in this study?
The feedback.
Elaborated.
Elaborated and
Elaborated
motivational
and
feedback. There are two
Role
types of
discussion.
feedback. There are two types of feedback: elaborated and motivational feedback.
Motivational.
Okay. We don't know. We can see the with the title. We can find this is the possible. Oh, this is difficult. Here we have to find it. So I cannot easily tell you that this one you can find. So it's better that I should not go with this one. I could put it this one, easy one. So you can understand. Yeah. Faculty readiness for online teaching. If you do not find it, read the abstract. The research examines how faculty readiness can enhance adoption to modern educational demands beyond any specific events. So our variables are faculty readiness and its impact on adoption. Okay, now see, readiness is measured. See, how you measure, what do you mean by readiness? Faculty readiness. Faculty readiness is measured through comfort with risk. This is variable. Identity disruption is variable. Teaching norms, equity and tenure norms. These all are the variables which you use as an independent variable of your study, because faculty readiness is measured through this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And outcome variable is called, outcome variable is actually dependent variable, is impact.
Impact and adaptability.
Adoption to modern. Okay. Then they come to with this one. Online learning. This one they see. Demographic factors. They come with this scales. This is, they have used these variables. Then this is, they develop this hypothesis. Okay. This one is the same like this. Maybe they have hypothesis. Let me check. Or they have quantitative findings. They have developed this C, content in leadership, explanation, what is the educational theory, foundation of methodology. Now they come with this one. So here is the instrument, research design. There they have discussed about the variables. So independent and dependent variable, but we have lots of exercise also for that one. Okay, do it faster. Very quick, huh? List the variables and label them as dependent or independent, explaining why they are labeled. First example, an applied researcher wants to increase the performance of organizational members in particular bank. Okay, what is variable? Dependent variable in this study.
IB is
The performance.
Performance. Okay. Organizational performance is a dependent variable because it is a primary variable of interest. The applied researcher who wants to increase the commitment of members in the bank. A marketing manager wonder why the recent advertisement study does not work. What would be the dependent variable here?
Advertisement strategy.
Advertisement strategy, because the marketing manager is interested in knowing why the recent strategy does not work. Research study indicates that successful new product development has influence on stock market price. that is more successful of the new product turn out to be, the higher will be the stock price of the firm. Yes.
Stock market price.
Stock market price.
What is independent variable and dependent variable? Both variables you have to explain.
The product development is the independent variable, and stock
Product
market
development is independent variable. Stock market price is
is
Dependent variable.
dependent variable, right?
Independent.
Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And when you
Yes,
make a
sir.
framework,
Yes.
your framework is always like this. On your left side, there will be always independent variable, and dependent variable always will be on the
Right side.
right
Right
side.
side.
Or last variable, where all arrows goes. See arrows. All arrows will go to dependent variable, because when you do the analysis using the PLS or something, you always put the dependent variable in the last. Even software also understand when the all arrows goes to that variable, software understand that it is a dependent variable without explaining you. This is interesting. Cross-cultural research indicate that managerial values govern the power distance between superiors and subordinates. Okay.
distance between
Dependent
superiors
is the power
Power
distance.
distance.
Power distance is
Distance.
dependent.
independent.
Independent variable is
Cross-cultural
Values and
Cross
power
cultural.
distance.
Managerial values.
managerial values.
Cross-cultural is dependent.
anyone who says that cross-cultural is a variable, right or wrong?
Cross-culture is independent, right?
Cross-cultural is
Cultural.
not independent. Cross-cultural is not dependent.
Yes.
Actually, the
not?
variable is managerial values
Managerial
and power
values
distance.
and power distance. Yeah.
You can understand by example. If your manager says, you always come with the protocol, take the appointment first and then you come to my office. So power distance is low or high?
Hi.
High. Managerial values are high actually. Okay, high power distance. And if manager says my values are there, I believe in open door policy, anyone can come to my office. So power distance between manager and employee is low. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, doctor.
Our manager believe that good supervision and training would increase the production level. Easy one. What is dependent, independent?
Production level.
Production level
is
is
the dependent.
dependent. Supervision and training is independent.
Independent.
Good supervision and training are independent. Production level is
Dependent.
Dependent.
technically there are two independent variable. So normally you
Supervision and
have many
training.
independent variable and one or two dependent variable. Okay.
Okay.
This one is difficult. Who can answer?
Buying and selling is the
Independent.
independent. Yes.
And
And
financial environment. Appropriate times in
financial environment is
environment
independent.
Is it right, doctor?
Buying and selling is
Independent.
and independent.
Dependent is the
Appropriate time
Appropriate time.
in a financial environment.
No.
the stock.
Benefits.
Benefits. Yes.
Oh, benefits.
Financial benefits, I guess.
Gains or benefit. Benefit definitely financial. It should be in money. If you buy the stock, definitely the benefit should be financials. Okay.
Okay.
When you buy the cryptocurrency, the benefits are always in the dollars. Okay.
All right, doctor.
Okay. Clear?
Okay, doctor. Clear.
And actually financial time environment where the stock is volatile, this is actually situation.
I see.
Now this is interesting. It has been found that there is a relationship between the availability of reference manual that manufacturing employees have access to and product rejects. When workers follow the procedure laid down in the manual, they are able to manufacture products that are flawless. Yes.
Yes.
Product quality is the dependent.
Rejects dependent and reference manual.
Independent is the manuals and the product rejects.
No. Reference manual is independent, product rejects is
Dependent.
Now see this one. It's very important to understand because now we are connecting this thing. Availability of reference manual. What does it mean, availability of reference manual? It means that reference manual are available in the factory. If the reference manual are available, the rejection will be decreased. Now, okay, relationship is positive, negative.
Negative.
Positive.
Positive. It means
Yes,
that
because of the
listen now carefully. If reference manual is available in the factory, so project rejects will increase.
Oh,
That one is
negative.
Negative. Okay,
No,
number of rejects will number of rejects will decrease. Okay.
Yes.
Negative relationship. But now listen carefully. Although this relationship is true in general for all workers, but it is not true for workers who are not using the manual every time they need it. It means that this relationship is dependent on what? This relationship is dependent on interest and inclination of the workers. If workers are not interested, to read the manual, so that only keeping the manual will not decrease the production rates. So what does it mean? It means that this relationship is dependent on workers'
Interest
and inclination. Just like buying the having the books, story books will increase the for 3 years baby reading habits. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, doctor.
But do you think that baby can read themselves?
No. There's a parent's assistance
No.
needed.
So this
Helping by the
relationship is
parents.
dependent on what? This relationship is dependent on parents'
The parents.
support.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that variable is considered the variable which can change the actual relationship between dependent and independent variable is considered as a moderating variable. Okay, so what is moderating variable? Now see this one. Availability of resource will decrease the number of rejects, but this relationship is dependent on
Interest and inclination.
Workers'
of
interest.
workers. If workers are not interested to read the manual, definitely rejection will not come. Moderating variable can be qualitative like gender, race, education, or it can be continuous variable like satisfaction, anything. There are 2 types of moderating variable. That is about the analysis part, but I'm not putting you difficult. Like what are the continuous variable, what are the moderating qualitative variable. Right now I'm telling moderating variable is one variable which can actually change the relationship between dependent and dependent variable. Moderating variable is one that has a strong contingent effect. What does it mean by contingent effect? Contingent effect means that this effect is connected with the relationship between the independent and dependent variable. Understand?
Understand, doctor.
Okay. Now see, one example. In our one example, we continue. A prevalent theory is that diversity of the workforce, according to different ethnics, origin, and nationality, contributes to organizational effectiveness. Why? Because each group brings its own special expertise and skills to the workplace. Right or wrong?
Right. Correct.
What is dependent variable?
Organizational effectiveness.
And what is
Organizational
independent variable?
effectiveness.
Diversity of the
Diversity
workforce.
of the
Now,
workforce.
situation is saying that if you have a diversity in the workforce, so organizational effectiveness will come.
Yes.
But sometimes it happens that we have diversified workforce, still organizational effectiveness does not come. Why?
Because of
Due
the
to the differences.
different
Now see,
ethnic
because this
differences.
is the explanation. This energy can be exploited. However, only if manager knows how to harness the special talent of the diverse workforce. Otherwise, they will remain untapped. Only bringing the different nationalities or different ethnic people, different races cannot bring the organizational effectiveness until manager utilize that diversity. If the manager is not expert to make the team members which are diversified, then what will happen?
Not much changes.
Not much changes. Normally,
Yes.
my Malaysian experience is that there are the 3 diversified groups: Chinese, Malay, and Indian, and Malay, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But normally when I say, okay, make your groups. So I come with the group, 5 students, 5 groups, all 5 Chinese. 5 groups, all Indians, all Malay. You get my point?
Yes,
This is my
doctor.
normal experience. I say when you make
Understood,
the group,
doctor.
they make like this. Normally it is my experience. So it means that as a teacher, what I have to do, I have to say that there should be the combination of different ethnics, and there should be the combination of different genders. There should be the girls and boys in each group, or as well as there should be the different ethnic members in each group, so that when you work in a group, so your ideas should share with each other, and then your project will be will be better than the normal one which you are making. Or
Correct.
that not necessarily that the Chinese, Malay, or I'm talking, that is also even from the state. If in University UTM, I'm finding the people from Malacca, from Penang, from Prague. So most of the time they are all coming. Those who all were students in the, for example, they did their SPM or metric from Prague, all in one technical college. Now all students are same together. So what is the benefit of learning the different diversity people? And in the same way, diversity means, special expertise means, harness of the talent means, for example, one student from mechanical, one from chemical, and one from business management. So it will give more ideas because 3 of them have a different experience and expertise. So that is considered as how the manager harness the group. So that is considered as a moderating variable. Now see, managerial expertise. Understand? Now, sometimes the situation
Yes,
come,
doctor.
doctor, question can come to me, doctor. How can I decide that which is my independent variable and which is my moderating variable? Okay. This is the question, na? How you decide your moderating variable? How you decide your independent variable? Technically, both are independent variable.
The major cited variables, which is very significant, influence the dependence variables result. Then we classify as moderating variables.
Well, situation varies. Sometimes we put it in the different ways, but we understand with this example, you will better understand. A research study indicates that better the quality of the training program in an organization, the greater the growth needs, the greater the growth needs of the employees, where the need to develop and grow on the job is strong. The greater is their willingness to learn of doing things. Now, what is my dependent variable?
Willingness to learn, doctor.
Willingness to learn. And what is my independent variable?
Quality
Quality of the training program
There are two:
programs.
quality of training program and
Yes.
growth needs.
Yes.
Oh, growth needs.
Now see this relationship. What is this relationship? X on Y. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
Are you satisfied with this relationship? Are you satisfied with this relationship? Yes or no?
Yes.
Looks like yes. It's a theory. Okay, let's see what happens to you in your life. Someone has camera on. Turn off your camera.
Zahra.
Okay. By mistake, it normally happens.
Link to learn.
Okay, now see. Now, suppose there is a situation. You read this theory in this my class. Okay. Now, suppose, Siti Zara, you are here? Siti Zara? Hello? Siti Zara? Okay, she's not here. Raida?
Yes.
Okay. Raida, you are here. Raida is the boss of the company. Okay, she is the boss of one company. And Victor, you are here?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Victor is working under Raida. Okay, employee.
Okay.
Okay. And Azmi Ahmed. Azmi is not here. Okay. Sia Jia. Sia Jia, you are here. Okay. Okay. Sia is here. What happened? Victor come to Raida and he says, boss, we can have training on willingness to learn. Like, for example, we call it as a training, creative training. Nowadays, we do a lot of things which is called employee creativity. Okay. Employee creative curve training. So that employee creativity curve should increase. And they should be learned to learn, willingness to learn new things. Okay. Victor says, Raida says, I have 100 employees. Okay. And training cost RM 1,000 each. Okay. So what is total cost? 100,000.
100,000.
Okay. Raida, you are ready to spend 100,000 for your 100 employees. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? Raida, you are ready or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
But
doctor.
too
Who do you
expensive.
trust? Who do you trust? Victor. Okay. Now Victor has invested your 100,000 in employees. Okay. At the end of the training, Victor comes and shares with you that, boss, based on our feedback, we find that training program and willingness to learn, we find that out of 100 employees, our curve is like this. The better we are giving the training quality of training program and growth needs, willingness to learn is increased.
Increase.
You are very happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Raida, you are ready to now release the 1,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit to the trainer?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, doctor.
Okay, you are ready to release 1,000.
100,000.
100,000. You are ready to release. Okay. If it is
Yeah.
100,000 training, then question is that who is trainer? Yeah, why should not me 100,000? Okay. Release to me. I'm happy I'm gone home. But Sia is, Sia. Sia, you are here?
I think her mic is problem, doctor.
Problem.
Yeah, yes.
Mic is problem. Okay. But Sia is, no, trainer is not me, huh? Trainer is, who should be trainer?
I
For
want
this
to be a
situation, I don't
trainer.
want to be the trainer. I don't want 100,000. Who wants 100,000 training? Give
Me.
your name. Me.
Winnie.
Vanny.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want to.
Vanny is
I want to get the
Vanny
100,000.
conducted this training, and Victor has given this training to Vanny. Okay, but
Okay.
Sia is jealous. Nothing but jealous of Victor. And come to Dr. Vakar. Okay. And come to Dr. Vakar, and she says, Sia is boy or girl? Sia is a boy or girl? I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, because we never heard the voice.
Sia, you are boy or girl? How we know?
Doctor, the chat isn't available, so might be he or she cannot answer the
Okay,
question.
he or she, decide yourself. Okay, but Sia is actually jealous. And come to Dr. Vakar, and she says, or he says, that doctor, one of the employee, over smart Victor, gave the training, and trainer Vanny conducted this training, and this result came. Okay, can you come in our office and see that? Did it go well? Okay, now Dr. Vakar enters and meet Dr. Miss Raida. Okay, meets 100 employees and does a small survey. Okay, and finds out of 100,
Only 50.
70 employees do not have growth needs. Why? Maybe 30 are retiring next year,
Retiring.
in next 2 years. Okay, and maybe 35 are leaving jobs, and 5 are resigning this month. Okay, and I conducted this training, and I did this growth needs, and then I compare. Actually, what I did, this is the data Victor has presented using 2 variables: training needs and a training program and growth needs, and impact of training program and growth needs on willingness to learn new things. And he developed this graph. What I did only one thing. I only put one more variable as a moderator, and that moderator variable is called growth needs. So those who have high growth needs, those who have low growth needs. And then when I do this analysis, so my results were like this. I say another research study, that this is by Dr. Vakar, okay, indicate that willingness to employ learn to new way think is not influenced by the quality of training program offered to organization to all people without distinction. Only those with high growth needs seem to have yearning to learn this benefit through specialized training. Now see. Okay, now moderating variable that I have spoken. Now what do you find?
There are two moderator with high and lower
Low growth
growth.
needs.
Low growth.
See, if you do not have moderating variable, normally when you have moderating variable, you will always find two arrows like this. Always find.
Okay.
I will show you many articles like this. Okay. But
Okay, doctor.
those who, if you do not use the moderating variable, what was your previous example? Now see.
There is only one line.
This one. Okay. Now we have come with this one. Okay. Sia come with Dr. Waqar and presented this one. Okay. So those who have high growth needs and low needs. And if I put like arrows was like this. So previously it was like this. Understand?
Yes, doctor.
Average of
Yes,
all.
doctor.
Now you broke up. So technically, how many are the high growth needs? See, their row is very high, very high. And those who have the low growth needs, willingness to learn is like this. For example, this is 0. This is 2. This is 4. This is 6. And this is 8. Satisfaction level, okay? 8. I always had the pen, even MS pen in my life. I don't like this thing. This is not my habit.
Okay, doctor,
Okay, this
we
is
can
like
understand.
1, 2, 3. Now see, if you had this one, so your arrow will be like this. You were like there, okay? But when you find here, so here you find what? Very high. But these people, very
Low.
low. So you tell me, you spend now, you spend how many employees training? 100. How much money you
100.
give?
100,000.
Out of 100,000, 70,000 you paid for?
The higher.
70 employees whose growth needs are very low. So their willingness to learn to new thing is also
Low.
Low.
So now what will you do with Victor? What Victor has done for you? He has vested your
Money.
70,000. Okay. So that's why always the role of moderating variable is very important. So there, from this thing you learn two things. Number one thing is that always use the moderating variable when you want to differentiate or you want to find the strength and weaknesses of the relationship. And number two thing is that always conduct the training by Dr. Waqar, not by any other person, so that you have a good answers. Okay. So next time trust on Sia, not on Victor. Okay.
Okay,
And deduct this amount from Victor's money. Salary. Okay, let's continue. This is clear to you?
clear.
I hope so. It's very. Now you should understand conceptually. Every day we are conducting this, writing the thesis article, research article, moderating role, but we don't know what is moderating role. Honestly. Why are we using a moderating role? That we don't know. Now see, there was an article, moderating role. I could see one moderating role in article, and I remember, if I am not wrong. Somewhat it was here. Because graph was here, it's not here. Yeah, see this. This is called moderating role. See, elaborated feedback compared to motivational feedback. Free role, scripted role. So when you find this free role and scripted role, there is a high difference. Decreases with the motivational feedback. The difference between high when it is there. Reply post, initial post and reply post, it changes according to the study. Okay. This is according to study. Right now, I cannot say anything about this because right now we don't have any understanding of complete article. Once we understand, then we can decide that what does it mean. But moderating role always come like this. Even in your analysis, you will find graphs. If you do not find the graphs, then moderating role is not properly pasted. Every article should have a graph if it is moderating role. Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, let's continue. We have to finish it. Okay, now mediating variable. Mediating variable is actually considered as a surface variable. Surface between time between independent dependent variable start. Honestly speaking, if I give you this definition, in your next 10 years, you will not understand the meaning. I tell you very easy example. Okay, word, but I closed it. Okay, sorry. Okay. Now mediating variable is okay. Previously, what is the old name of mediating variable? Intervening variable. And sometime in thesis we write indirect relationship. Indirect relationship is also mediating technically. Okay. So these are the many common words. That mediating is a very common word. For example, my own example of thesis, I said that workplace environment. It was my PhD thesis. Okay. Workplace environment. Okay. If you, for example, if your environment is supportive, what will affect? It will increase your productivity.
Increase productivity.
Okay, right? For example, support from leader, colleagues, job design, workspace, technology. These were the variables. It was a very big thesis. Definitely, I'm not showing you the everything, but selected item. Increase your productivity. But when I started my study, I found that actually workplace environment does not convert into to productivity. There is one more variable that is called health. If work environment is supportive, it improves my health. If my health improves, then my productivity improve. But I put it as actually what I did, I put it both of them as my dependent variable. One is improve health, one is increase productivity. But when I study improve health, I found that health is actually workplace environment is not impacting health directly. There is one more thing, especially workplace environment where I have a variable is called technological workplace environment or technological environment. If there is a technological environment, it improves my health, but actually technological environment, even physical environment and psychosocial environment. These were the 3 IVs of my study, very long. It improved my health and productivity. So one mediating variable I found, it was health. But when I study more, so I found that with physical environment and psychosocial environment, there is actually one more thing that is called stress. If my physical and psychosocial environments are supportive, even technological environment are supported, it decreases my stress, results in improve my health and productivity. Right? So this stress is what?
Mediator.
mediator. And suppose I don't have this variable in my study and I do this research. I do not find it. So my outcome of my study, I will find, yes, physical environment can improve your health and increase your productivity. What will be the policy implication of my study? We should work on health program, right?
Health.
What will be implication? Work on health programs. Okay? Work on productivity. Improve environment. But actually, this health is not directly affecting. Problem is that this environment is creating the stress in me. So there is no stress related program in my discussion because my mediating variable is not identified. Once my mediating variable is identified, that stress is actually the role, and then I find the significant role of stress, then I can say that directly improving your physical environment will not convert the productivity unless it can decrease the stress of the employees. When stress is improved, decrease, automatically health will improve and productivity will improve. You understand my mean? But automatically I find when I have a technological environment where I have an internet, everything, so also improve not one stress, there is another stress that is called this environment is creating techno stress. Even you can put it even blended learning environment. What is the outcome of blended learning? Techno stress. Because all the time you have to connect it with the technology, you have to work on these things. You understand? Yes, class?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, that is called mediating variable. So mediating variable, in example, we can say a prevalent theory is that diversity of workforce contributes to organizational effectiveness because each brings its own expertise and skills with surgery can be employed if foundation have no stress, otherwise they will remain untapped. Now, mediating variable is what? Creative synergy. Actually keeping only diversity, only workforce diversity will not bring organizational effectiveness. By the time when I develop the workforce diversity and I use the many people in this organization, so it will advantage me creating the synergy. If this diversity cannot bring synergy, you know, concept of creative synergy. Creative synergy with a very common definition is that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. When 4 people work, productivity come out of total of 5 people. Okay, that we call it synergy. It means when 4 type of different diversified people work together, so they should result in creative synergy. So that new generation, new idea should come, new work will increase, productivity, and then organizational effectiveness will increase. So this variable, by the time you realize on this one, this variable is all automatically generated. That is, we call it time surface variable. See, time 1 to time 3, when you come, so it will not come to time 3 until creative synergy is converted. If creative synergy is not converted, you can't do anything. And then this creative synergy and workforce diversity is depending on managerial expertise. So now this is what? See, dependent variable, mediating variable or intervening variable, independent variable, and moderating variable. And normally nowadays this type of framework is called a moderated mediation analysis. Many journals are doing. For example, you can find articles, a moderated mediation analysis. See, maybe some new papers. Okay. This one. Okay. What is the COVID work-related changes? Burnout and turnover intention in mental health order. Okay. A moderated mediation analysis. So what they have done? What is the variable they have used? Objective. Unconditional indirect effect between work changes, turnover intention through burnout. Okay, so independent variable definitely is independent variable is work changes. And outcome variable, dependent variable is turnover intention. And moderating variable is actually burnout. Let's see. We can understand with the framework. It should be somewhere. Okay. Now burnout is outcome variable. I think this is work changes independent variable. Burnout outcome variable. Burnout is mediating variable. Because work change due to COVID is a condition like independent variable which affect on burnout, and burnout is affecting on turnover intention, or job resources can buffer the effect. If you have a good job resources, then it can change your model. Okay. We can do it somewhat like okay. See this one. This framework. Very small. So okay. This is one journal article. The role of occupational stress in the association between emotional labor and mental health, a moderating mediation analysis. Now, what they do, the study investigated whether occupational stress factor moderate the effects of emotional labor on psychological distress. So, emotional labor is independent variable, psychological distress is dependent variable, and occupational stress factor is moderating variable. And there will be one mediation variable that they have done something. A cross-sectional and descriptive study using anonymous paper survey based which conducted 283 call centers. These are the scales they have used. We will discuss all this thing in the second half. Okay, the results was moderated by discomfort. This one, see, you can see. Okay, this is the relationship, surface acting impact on psychosocial stress. And this relationship is mediated by emotional discussions. This is mediation. And then this is moderation. See, occupational stress. So technically, this is called moderated mediation model. Okay. Nowadays, people are publishing all articles like this, but at least you should know what are they. So I hope so that these are clear to you now. To large extent, but not 100%, I know. But at least you got the idea. Okay.
Okay, Doctor.
Any class? Okay. So let's have a small break, 10 minutes. Okay. And then I will teach you hypothesis so that we will go for the break and then we will go for long break and we will come back for the new topics. Okay. Because I have to teach you hypothesis after that. So it's 11:56, 11:10 we are back. Oh, 12:10 we are back. Okay.
Okay,
So
Doctor.
within 30-40
Okay,
minutes, I will
Doctor.
finish your hypothesis. Okay.
All
So
right.
we stop here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, doctor.
Yeah, sorry, I just had
Hello,
a phone
doctor.
call. Important phone call was here.
No problem.
Okay, let's continue now. The second part is about hypothesis development. Once you have your framework, the second step is hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Hypothesis, a proposition, a statement that is empirically testable. Okay, which you can test. An empirical statement concerned with the relationship among variable. Okay, good hypothesis. This is direction, non-directional, non-important. Is a logical relationship between two variables expressed in the form of testable statement. Okay. For example, there are two types of hypothesis. One is called directional and second is called non-directional. Directional means you know the direction. For example, the greater the stress experience in the job, the lower the job satisfaction, or women are more motivated than men. So this is called directional. Non-directional when you don't know. For example, there is a relationship between age and job satisfaction. So what is the relation? With increase the job, with increase the age, job satisfaction increases or decreases? Yes,
Can't say,
class.
sir.
As your age increase, job satisfaction increase or decrease?
Not necessary.
Decrease.
Depends. It can increase,
Depends.
it can decrease. We don't know actually. If you don't know anything, then your hypothesis should be like this. Okay. So hypothesis you check for two things, either for relationship or differences. Mute your mic, someone. Okay, now another example, there is a difference between the work ethics of values and American employees. Okay. So Americans have more work ethics or Asians have more work ethics? Yes, class. Who has more work ethics?
It depends.
Again, we don't know the direction. If you know the direction, suppose Americans have more work ethics, then what will be the directional hypothesis? The American ethics, American values, ethic values of Americans are greater than Asian employees. Okay. Okay, and there are two types of hypotheses. One is called null and other is called alternative. You always write in your research paper alternative hypothesis, not null hypothesis. Okay, a null hypothesis means that nothing new. Okay, in general expresses there is no significant difference. Okay, and alternative is significant impact. Okay, we do not go with this one. We can give you, because it will be difficult for you. For example, there is an hypothesis. We can say leadership support decreases employee burnout. Tell me, this is direction or non-direction? This is directional hypothesis, non-directional hypothesis.
Directional?
Not non-directional.
Directional.
Directional. This is directional because we know that increasing the leadership support will decrease the burnout. And what is the direction? Negative or positive? Negative direction. Okay.
Negative.
Okay. Now another example of non-directional. Now this is directional, non-directional.
Non-directional.
Non-directional. Now null and alternative. Null is called H naught. H naught. We put it like H naught. Okay.
No.
There is no impact of leadership support on employee burnout. Okay. So what will be the alternative?
H1.
There is
There is
impact,
significant
significant impact.
negative
Impact
of
Leadership
support
on
employee burnout.
employee burnout. Okay. Okay. And if you make another one,
Significant positive impact.
impact.
there is no impact of
Positive.
leadership. There is leadership type. There is no significant. There is no impact of leadership type on employee performance. Okay. And what will be the alternative? There is
significant
impact. We don't know the
positive
direction, so we don't know like negative or positive. Okay.
Impact of leadership.
Significant spelling.
Okay. Is it clear? When you write your thesis or paper, which hypothesis do you write? Null and alternative both, or only null, or alternative? Yes, class. When you write your thesis or book, chapter or paper, which types of hypothesis do you write? Null or alternative, or null or
Both.
alternative?
Both.
Null and alternative.
No, you always write only alternative.
Alternative. Okay.
See, doctor.
Okay. Sorry.
Suppose you don't have access for this article. So always you can use the technique is that these sometimes the articles are available on other sources. Okay. Now see, they say you buy. No problem. See, go back. This is another shortcut. There are other shortcuts, but this is another shortcut. See, ResearchGate. This article is available here. Okay. See, this is framework, dependent variable GI, independent variable CP, mediating variable GHRMP, and moderating variable is IGP. Now see hypothesis. This is null or alternative?
Alternative.
Alternative. You only write alternative hypothesis, not null. Directional, non-directional.
Directional.
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 First hypothesis, see H1, this one in the framework. So this is based on your framework. Now you are developing your hypothesis, and your hypotheses are supported by literature
Review.
See, they are supporting consumer pressure, then literature, and the impact of consumer pressure on green innovation outcome variable. Then green HRM practices, see this one, green HRM practices, GHRMP. Now they develop second hypothesis, GHRM practices are positively related to green innovation. Null alternative.
Alternative.
Directional, non-directional.
Directional.
Directional.
Then how to write the hypothesis for mediation? This is important. So mediation, you understand, mediation is always between both. One is this one and one is this one. So now this is mediation. You understand H3, H2. H2 and H3, this is H2, then there will be H3 because CP and GHRP are also that also relationship. Okay, then this is mediation. So you have to write this way, like H1, H2, now see H3. Communication pressure is positively related to green HRM, and automatically when you connect these three each other arrows, so automatically mediation will come. So you should write in this way, like green HRM practices mediate the consumer pressure green innovation relationship, or in other words you can write green HRM practices mediate the relationship between consumer pressure and green innovation. Okay.
Doctor, sorry. Doctor, can you repeat again what is the difference between alternative and null hypothesis?
Nothing but alternative is the hypothesis which you are making something contribution. According to your theory, consumer pressure should impact on HRM practices.
Yeah. Okay.
That you want to test. So null hypothesis is what's new. And alternative hypothesis is that what's new. And new is that consumer pressure is positively related to green HRM practices. And null hypothesis means nothing changed. The situation as it is. So what is the situation? Consumer practices is not positively related to green hypothesis. See this. No significance. See, normally we use the word no. Okay. This is the exact relationship. Null hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis, it means something new. You understand? Or even if you don't understand, always use no word in null, and without the no is alternative. Okay. And always put the alternative hypothesis in your thesis or papers. Do not put the null hypothesis. Okay. And how to write the mediating variable hypothesis like this? This is a mediating variable. You can write green HRM practices mediate and independent variable relationship. Okay. And moderating variable you have to write in the same way, like individual green values moderate the green HRM practices and green innovation relationship. So you can write even in the other way, like individual green values moderate the relationship between green innovation, green HRM practices and green innovation. And how you develop your hypothesis supported by literature review, and how your literature review develop, and how based on this or your literature review, how you come with the relationships. This relationship are expressed in the form of conceptual model, or conceptual framework, or theoretical framework. See. Okay. Is it clear to you, class?
Inspector.
Okay. Now, after that, your next step is about methodology. Once you have your hypothesis, now once you have your, now go with this process. Your process starts. Oh, we forgot to start the recording, which was very important. I stopped recording? No, stop recording is going on now. That's better. Okay. I'm saying to you, what is the process? Now go to process. First thing in your research is what? You should have a problem statement, right?
Yes.
We, in other words, we call it research problem. Based on research problem, you develop your what? Your RQs and ROs, right?
Yes.
You understand the RQs and ROs, na?
Yeah.
Once you have RQs and ROs, then your second step is doing LR. LR
Like literature review.
for conceptual definitions
Conceptual and definition.
of variables, meaning of variable, okay, and finding and labeling variable names, okay, and supporting theory, and based on LR, you come with framework. Your framework has what? Your framework has variables. Variables, in variables, what can be subvariables, concepts, meaning, concept definition, concept explanation. Okay. Then, and relationships. This is you develop your relationship. Once you have your variables and relationships, once you have variable and relationships, you are coming with.
This is.
No, based on your variable and framework, you come with your conceptual framework. Once you have conceptual framework, you have your variables and you have the variable relationships. And once you know your relationship, you develop your hypothesis. But to measure the hypothesis are means testable statement. Testable statement means which can be measured. For example, ghosts in my office improves my productivity. This is hypothesis.
Yes.
Suppose this is the hypothesis. You are saying that there are the different type of ghosts in my offices. Ghosts, you can say spirits, you can say jinnat. And you develop, there is a positive impact of jinnat existence there is a positive significant impact of jinnat existence on my productivity. Now you tell me, this is your hypothesis, you have variables. What are your variable? Existence of jinnat and productivity. Now you tell me, can you measure your productivity, yes or no?
Yes.
Can you measure
Yes.
the existence of jinnat?
Yes.
Yes.
Huh? You
No.
can measure.
No,
Can you
doctor.
measure?
No.
No.
No, doctor.
That means that this hypothesis is not testable. Like normally questions come, God exists. This is your belief. Okay. But cannot Test. Test means scientifically. Okay. It means that this is not measurable. You cannot measure. So hypothesis means measurable statement. That is important. Okay. So now you have your variables, you have hypothesis. Based on hypothesis, what you will do? What's your next step? What is your next step? Yes, class.
Methodology.
Methodology is already here. Now next step is what? Practical step. Data collection and analysis.
Data
And within data
collections
collection
and analysis.
now methodology comes. Okay. Even the hypothesis development is also the part of methodology, but now we will come with the how to collect the data. It means that once you have to collect the data, what should be the measurement of your variable. So our next topic in the afternoon is measurement of the variable. How to measure the variables. For example, age you can measure easily, but beauty, can you measure? Difficult, na?
Because
You
Very
can
difficult,
you
doctor.
can put it easily.
Very
difficult.
Like motivation. Motivation is difficult to measure. So that we call it consider as a measurement of the variable, or we can say that technique is called concept dimension element, CDE technique. I am going to teach you. Okay. This one, the first thing we are going to study is methodology. It means measurement of the variable. Then collection the data you should have, not population, you should have sampling. So we are going to study sampling technique, and then data collection tools. Which tool you are going to use? So normally questionnaire is the most common tool we are going to study. Okay. And then you have analysis strategy. Then I will say goodbye. Okay. In the afternoon. So second half, we are going to start this one. Okay. So we start at 2:30, 2 o'clock. Okay.
Okay,
2:15,
doctor.
2:15. Okay. 2:15.
Okay, doctor.
2:15. Okay. So it's the end
2:15,
of the our
okay.
lecture. I will create the new link.
Okay, doctor.
Okay,
Okay,
doctor.
thanks. Thank you, doctor.
Okay. Thank you.
2:15.
Thank you.
Okay, doctor. We'll
Assalamualaikum.
see 2:15.
2:15. I will
Yes.
generate the new link.